You're late.
Don't just live life, maxify it.
July of 1993, Mamta. How fresh is that month, that day in your mind? Because it was your maiden game for India. Who did you receive the cap from? What was all that about?
Unfortunately, like Nushin mentioned yesterday, we didn't have that routine of, or that legacy of somebody handing over a cap along with our team kit and all those things. We had received the cap. So that was about it. I don't have any special memory of somebody personally handing it. I think later when Anjum came, she started that trend. But we should do it within the, when we got our thing, within the dressing room or thing. But earlier to that, that trend was not there. So unfortunately, I don't have that memory. But it was a very pleasant memory in that until then, it was star-studded with Shanta, Shubhangi, Sudha. And to break into that squad for that tour was special. How I was a little amateurish then. I don't remember every aspect of that tour, that World Cup that we played. But it was very special in that I was just excited to be in the Indian squad, which earlier had people like Shanta, Diana, Shubhangi Kulkarni, Sudasha. So that was the first feeling I had when we played that tournament.
And what was the lead up to the call up itself? How did you first of all hear from it? Because we've heard tales of players listening to their name announced on the radio transistor that we used to have back then.
No, I think the secretary announced it. I'm not very clear about that, but I think they announced it. Those days they used to verbally announce it before it went to the media and things like that. So I think the secretary then announced it. I kind of had whiff of it that I would be there because by then I'd broken into the Indian Railways, which was again a star-studded side, and I had a good tour that domestic season. So I was kind of, expecting, but it was announced verbally by the secretary.
Yeah, we heard Nushin say that she did not lose sleep on the eve of her debut. What was it with you? Were you
similarly? I think later on, when I was leading the country, the pressure was kind of different. But in that first show, we knew we were all there in a supporting cast because still Diana was leading. There was Sandhya Agarwal, Shashi Gupta, Rajni Venugopal, all the likes. So I think the first tour, we used to sleep well, we used to eat well, and we tried to go out there and give our best for whatever we had. So the first tour was very pleasant in those terms.
Right then, throughout the India versus South Africa series, we at Women's Cricket Zone will be celebrating former players, and it's time for the Vespa Know Your Player. Mamta Maben is here, and this time, once again, I'm going to rewind that clock and talk about your 6 for 10 in an ODI versus Sri Lanka. The best till date, the best figures for India in ODI. Mamta, how did you go about that spell? Because I think no Sri Lankan batter seemed to have a clue in that spell.
Truth be told, I was a 5th, 6th bowler in that cog. Always I used to come to bowl 3 or 4 overs, sometimes 5 to fill that quota and somebody who could bat and bowl. And that game, I was not keeping too well, but the coach said, nothing doing, you have to play. You have to go about it. Unfortunately, we lost the toss and they batted first. Then she said, no, at least for half an hour, you go and come. And when I went that day, for one reason or the other, Julian, Amita, Neetu, David, Nushin, all were going for runs and we were not able to make any headway. That is when I said, okay, let me come and chance my arm. And you won't believe it that day. Wherever I put the ball, it was either bowled or LBW, probably because we were playing at Kandy, where there was movement. I was somebody who could move the ball in there as well as off the wicket. That was my specialty, though at a medium pace, but that was what happened. And I think in no time I had 4 wickets. And in the meanwhile, somebody got a couple from the other. And then I decided, okay, fine, we stem the rot here. Let the main bowlers come back. And again, they started going for runs. So then again, I brought myself back. That's how you'll find it is some 6.1 overs and 6 wickets. And even in that, there was one non-existent single, which there was no backup. So eventually it went for 5 runs. Otherwise, it was one such day, which happens in a cricketer's career where whatever you do clicks. I think that was my day, and it is a very fond memory where, fortunately it is still, but I want somebody to break it. So
It's so modest of you to say that it's one day where everything clicks, but 6 for 10 in an ODI. For those of you watching, let that number sink in. 6 for 10 in a limited overs game. Sachikala Sirivardhane, Randika Ganahelage, Dedunu Silva, Chamari Polgampola, Chamani Senaviratne, all these wickets. Did you kind of have any particular wicket that's close to your heart where you kind of set the batters up?
not really. All I knew was the ball was moving. So I kind of kept it on that fourth stump line, fourth and fifth stump line. And so I don't remember, but I think there are quite a few gold and LBWs in that. So I just tried to keep a good line, and the ball moved. And hence, I think they got beaten by the swing. And hence, I picked up those wickets. And I'm just happy that, it happened that day. And that's one thing very fondly I recollect.
Let's move away from the game and go to a segment we call Vespa Know Your Player. We have Mamta Maben with us. We are going to celebrate some of the former players through the India versus South Africa series. Mamta, you played for India, all right, but you also led the country during your career. So what memories do you have of leading India in the ODIs? Because it was back in December 2003?
Yeah, in the short stint that I led India for a couple of years, I think the first series against New Zealand, the home series, that was the most memorable because they were the reigning champions. They just won the 2000 World Cup. And when the selectors announced the squad, one of the selectors walked up to me and said, "See, we know they're the world champions, but we need to put up a good fight." And I just nodded my head. And when we had a first meeting, I remember asking the players, like, what do you think will be the outcome of the series? And they said New Zealand would win 5-0. I said, can't we even pull off one victory? Somebody said one. I think finally Neetu finished it off saying, we may win 2, but New Zealand's going to win the series 3-2. That is when I said we're going to win the series 5-0. That's how the discussion began. Of course, Jaya played brilliantly, Anju Jain, Anjum Chopra. Mithali was the linchpin. She would come and finish off games beautifully. And eventually, when we went to Chennai for the fifth ODI, we were leading 4-0. So that was one of, I think, on the captaincy front, that was a very memorable tour, like having to beat the current champions, World Cup champions. So that's a very fond memory in my mind.
But having handled the captaincy, were you someone who wanted to make your own strategies and have the players rally around you, or you were happy to let players be and just?
No, I think strategy. I was the sole one. I'll tell you one more instance. The first game when I asked the team, "What do you think we would like to do?" We played that in Bombay, and they said we want to chase. And the selectors had come to me and said, "No, you have to bat first." So when I asked the team, they said, "We'll chase." I said, "Okay, we'll go ahead with chasing," and we happened to win that game chasing. From there, it went on. So captaincy wise, I think Mithali was my deputy then, but she was pretty raw then. But captaincy-wise, I think I handled everything along with the coach. And the others played crucial roles. I think Jaya came into her own. Anjum was around, Anju Jain and Mithali also. And the bowlers, Neetu David. Every time I wanted a wicket, I would throw the ball to Nushi. And I was still, I don't know what you're doing. I want a wicket, Nushi. And she would promptly deliver. It was a very memorable series because nobody gave us a chance. And then to turn it around from there, and from there the momentum actually began. We beat West Indies 5-0, then we blanked out Sri Lanka 5-0 in Sri Lanka, and eventually we lost to Australia 4-3. But before we headed to the World Cup, but I think that New Zealand series I think is very, very favorite of mine where captaincy is concerned.
Yeah, lovely that. But today, the entire day, we've been using the Test cricket news as the thread. Because remember, India are slated to play Test in June in England, and you also have played a Test, and you are a Test match half centurion as well against South Africa in Pal. What are your memories of that game, and how dear was the red ball cricket in your career?
Yeah. That game, that Anjum was leading, and we had just lost the ODI series to South Africa 2-1, and we headed into a one-off test match. It was very memorable in the sense that the top 7 batsmen got 50s. That was one test match which stood out, where continuously top 7 batsmen got 50s, and we ended up winning them game. In women's cricket, it's not as easy because you need to get the opposition out twice with only 4 days to go. So it was very, very nice. Anjum led beautifully, and I think to have bounced back after having lost the ODI series to win an away series, a historic away series, that also is very close to my heart. That though, and the good thing about that was I think number 1 to number 7, all of us got 50s. So that was a very, very what do you say? Very heartening.